I'm more than certain when I say that there are only a few places where you can see wealth extravaganza outside of rap videos, and it doesn't matter if it's Post Malone driving Bugattis, or Rolls Royces, or Gucci Mane and Mihos hanging out by the pool of $1 million mansion. And when you see the big picture, it really seems like rappers got a whole lot of money. And yes, that's true, but for some individuals making money was hard. But keeping the money proved to be even harder, which is why I'm here today to tell you all about that, and some of the dumbest rappers that went completely broke. The rap legends coming up are icons and people who contributed to the rap scene so much, but eventually even the wider public couldn't save them from becoming completely broke. MC Hammer. The golden child of the hip-hop scene in the 90s was none other than MC Hammer, with his appeal possibly being one of the main reasons why he crossed over to the popular culture scene despite the hip-hop genre not being among the mainstream of the music industry back at the time. 30 years have passed since MC Hammer's 1990 album titled Please Hammer Don't Hurt 'Em, that even to this day is still one of the best-selling hip-hop albums of all time, which is one of many good reasons why he believed that his fortune will only be stacking up. However, in 1996 he filed for bankruptcy, a very public one, while I'm at that too. At the time, MC Hammer had around 200 people on his payroll, and according to Time magazine, this was costing him around $500,000 every month, and sometimes even more, up to $1 million, with his $30 million mansion being yet another money pit. After a while, he managed to recover with a bit of help from several hundred creditors like the IRS, banks, departure stores, and even utility companies. Lil Kim. Racking up to $4 million worth, Lil Kim filed for bankruptcy in 2018, and her Alpine, New Jersey mansion, valued at $3.1 million, was foreclosed in 2018 as well, just 3 days after she filed for bankruptcy. According to some sources, she owed around $600,000 in mortgage payments on the 6,000 square foot mansion, which is why it was put on auction later the same year. And that's not all, she also owed around $1,800,000 in back taxes and $186,000 in legal fees, something which one of the hottest female rappers surely knocked down in the public, with her 2019 9 album becoming one of the lowest selling albums in chart history. But by the end of 2019, Lil Kim managed to get her on her feet, and at the time was making more per month than what she was spending, and her bankruptcy case ended shortly after. Nas. Nas is undoubtedly one of the most successful rappers in the history of the genre, which is evident by his appearance on the Billboard Hot 100 several times between 1994 and 2018. His downfall started when Nas's financial issues became public during a period in his life when he was going through a divorce from singer Kelly's in 2009. While negotiating child support, it became known that he hit that like button just like you should do if you haven't done so already. But no, in reality he owed the IRS millions in back taxes and his manager around $700,000. He was ordered to pay $50,000 a month in support and even owed Kelly's $300,000 in back child support and alimony. 3 years later, his Georgia home was foreclosed after he failed to make his mortgage payments, and that was not the end. It was reported that an ex of Nas, together with a daughter of his, took him to court in 2014, and it became known as Nas owed her around $11,000 in child support. T-Pain. I don't know how old you are or where you came from, but there's one thing I'm sure about you all. You couldn't go anywhere without hearing one of T-Pain's hits in the mid-2000s, a hip-hop legend that proved to be the public of his financial skills or the lack thereof. The singer-rapper had a unique style and a long list of hits, and when everything was taken into consideration, according to T-Pain himself, at one point he estimates that he had earned around $40 million. He also added that his financial problems were mostly attributed to his bad real estate investments and none of them getting sold eventually. T-Pain got so broke that he claimed that he had to borrow money from a friend to buy his kids lunch from Burger King. In today's world, however, T-Pain looks to be doing good on the financial side of things, as well as in the music scene where he's already back with another hit. Da Brat. Da Brat was a major hip-hop presence in the 90s with his hits like Funkdafold, Ghetto Love, and Sitting on Top of the World, with her debut album in 1994 titled Funkdafold, making history by becoming the first album by a solo female rapper to sell 1 million copies. In August 2018, however, Da Brat filed for bankruptcy protection, claiming assets of about $100,000 against debts and liabilities of around $7.7 million. She owed $12 million to Sony Music, $12,000 to Ally Bank, and an unknown amount to the IRS, but the biggest amount Debrat owed someone was an amount of $6.4 million to a woman that sued her that Debrat stuck her with a bottle in a nightclub. And by the looks of things, Debrat did not recover very well right after, and it was listed that her monthly income as an entertainer radio personality was at around $9.3 thousand, with her monthly expenses at around $10.5 thousand. Trick Daddy. Known for his thug-themed albums in the early 2000s, Miami rapper Trick Daddy was quick to fall into the public by his downfall because by the end of the 2000s and 2010s, he started to bring less money when compared to what he used to before. According to Gossip, he only earned around $75,000 in 2016, which was followed by a smash of that subscribe button and ring of the notification bell from his side, but no. On the more serious side of things, this was followed by a filed bankruptcy from his side in 2017, which was actually the third time the rapper had to file for legal arrangements for financial reasons. According to some documents, Trick Daddy claimed his assets at the time were valued between $100,000 and $500,000, while owing $280,000 on his home, $290 in back taxes, and $57,000 in unpaid child support. DMX. The late rapper had 5 #1 albums throughout his career and by many was regarded as one of the most successful individual rappers of the 90s. However, even that didn't stop him from filing for bankruptcy in 2009, which was denied because he unreasonably delayed the case. DMX filed a second time around in 2013, claiming poor financial management by proper representation, and that was not the worst thing. The rapper claimed that he only had around $50,000 in assets and was between $1 million and $10 million in debt and a large chunk of it in unpaid child support. DMX's suffering does not end here because in 2016 he filed for bankruptcy for the third time, this time around owing even more money than before, and no assets to show except his house, which was in danger of being foreclosed on. In 2018, the IRS went after DMX for the $2.29 million he owed, for which he served a year in jail for tax evasion. Exhibit. Exhibit was yet another rapper who reached the mainstream at the time because his show Pimp My Ride became popular, but one thing he did not foresee was the show getting cancelled. While writing the show, Exhibit was earning around $500,000 a year, but plummeted to $70,000 when the show got cancelled. On top of that, he owed $1 million in back taxes, which was evident by his facing imminent foreclosure on his home in California. Exhibit filed 2 times for bankruptcy since 2009 and was denied both times for various reasons. His whereabouts are not known as of this moment, and whether he has done some damage control when his financial side of things is taken into consideration. There have been no signs of life, so to speak, regarding Exhibit, but since there's not some big news, he must be doing fine, or at least better than before. See you in the next video.